From thousands of light years away, the Zalith Empire watched Earth with cold, silent eyes. They were not the first to see the small blue planet, but they were the first to study it this closely hidden behind cloaked satellites, long-range sensors. In deep space drones, the Zalith were masters of observation. Before they conquered, they watched. Always, their scans showed a peaceful world, no planetary shields, no orbital defense stations, no warp-capable warships, just one moon, one species. Billions of humans walking, working, building small machines and sending messages into the sky. Their technology looked old, their cities too exposed, their weapons, primitive. From the Zalith command ship, Overseer Valen stood with his arms behind his back. "They're not ready," he said. "Earth is weak. It will fall fast when the time comes." Behind him, Analyst Ithra nodded. There is no sign of galactic influence. No foreign code, no advanced AI. The species is alone. Valen gave a quiet smile. "Then we wait. A little longer. Watch more. Learn everything." As they did. For weeks, Zalith drones circled Earth silently. They zoomed over cities, listened to radio waves, recorded conversations, downloaded data from satellites and servers. The humans never noticed, at least. That's what the Zalith thought. But something strange began to happen. One drone disappeared, then another. Their signals vanished, as if something reached out and cut them off. Ithra frowned at her screens. "We've lost 3 probes. No distress signals. No trace." Valen didn't seem worried. "System failure. Primitive gravity might be interfering. Send more." They sent 6 more. All 6 went dark within 2 hours. Still, Valen refused to panic. Earth is full of storms, oceans, and radiation. Their planet is messy. It's not an attack. It's just bad luck. But something deep inside the data said otherwise. 1. Drone 17 had captured a final image before it. It's vanished. Ithra opened the file. It showed a mountain range in the dark. But right in the center was something strange. Not a human plane, not a weather system. A shape, a blur. Something massive. With edges too sharp to be natural, and 2 glowing red lights staring upward. Ithra froze, "Sir. This drone saw something." Valen turned to the screen. The shape was already fading. The light's gone, but it had been watching back. Valen leaned closer. "Can you enhance?" "No," Ithra said. "But it looks like..." It saw the drone. Valen frowned. "How?" Ithra shook her head. "They're not supposed to see cloaked drones." Back on Earth, in a small underground base in Greenland, screen lit up. A man in a dark suit, Director Miles, stood with a calm face. "We found it," a technician said. "Unidentified alien drone, confirmed Zalith class. Pattern matches older models used in Outer Rim surveillance." Miles nodded. "Good. How many have they sent? 17 so far? 5 in the atmosphere? 12 in low orbit? All now disabled?" He stepped into another room. Behind thick glass, a strange machine hummed quietly, hybrid tech weapon fused with alien parts from older crashes. "Don't let them know we're watching," Miles said. "We've already pulled their drone data before they self-wiped." Someone added, "Anything useful?" "Yes, they think we're still primitive." Miles smiled for the first time. "Good. Let them." Back on the Zalith ship, Valen was growing annoyed. Drone after drone disappeared. Power signatures were normal one moment, gone the next. No energy spike. No shield disruption, just dot. "Cut off." "We underestimated them," Ithra whispered. Valen slammed his fist. Double quotes, "No, they don't even have space travel. Their ships are old. Their weapons fire metal. They don't even use field tech." Ithra didn't respond. She just stared at the last image again. The shape with red lights, it didn't look human. It looked like something else. Back on Earth, Miles met with a council deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. 6 people. No cameras, no records, only facts. "We've confirmed Zalith presence," he said. "They've been watching us for at least 6 weeks. Do they suspect?" "No, they're blind." "Are we responding?" Miles nodded. We're feeding false data to their long-range scanners, showing weak power grids, failing tech, fake nuclear codes. And the drones, disabled, quietly, without a trace, until now. He handed over a file. It showed the image the drone captured, the one with the glowing red lights. We let it see us, Miles said. One man raised his eyebrows. Why? Because the next move is theirs. Back on the Zalith command ship. Valen stared out into space. The planet below still looked calm, but now he felt something different, as if Earth wasn't being watched. It was watching back days past since the last drone vanished without a trace. The Zalith Empire grew uneasy. Commander Valen paced the bridge of the observation ship, staring at the blue planet below. Despite all their advanced sensors, they couldn't understand what was happening on Earth. Send more drones, Valen ordered. We need answers. The ship's AI responded quickly, deploying 5 new probes. All cloaked and shielded. Valen nodded. Good, this time, no mistakes. High above Earth, the new drones sped silently through the atmosphere. Their sensors scanned every inch of the planet's surface, cities, oceans, deserts, and forests. But they still found nothing unusual. Then one drone's camera caught a glimpse of something deep in the Amazon rainforest. A large facility lay hidden beneath the thick trees. It's not natural. Not human. The drone zoomed in. Metal walls, giant towers, strange machines humming with power. The drone sent images back to the Zalith ship. Valen's eyes narrowed. What is that? Unknown, the analyst Ithra said, but it's not on any human map? Possibly a secret military base? Valen smiled. We knew they hid something. Suddenly the drone's feed cut out. No warning, no signal, just silence. Valen slammed his fist on the console. Enough. Pull back all drones, they're being hunted. Ithra frowned. Sir, one drone sent a final message. It was strange encrypted, but clear. She played the recording. A voice spoke slowly in perfect Zalith. You watch us as if we are weak. But watch carefully. We have seen your ships for years. The bridge fell silent. Valen's face turned pale. How is this possible? They don't have our language, Ithra shook her head. It's not language, it's a warning.
Outside.
Sensors detected strange energy pulses. Ships in orbit flickered. Stamos suddenly. Several Zalith satellites stopped transmitting. Valen shouted, They're attacking our systems? The ship's alarms blared. The power grids in nearby cities also showed strange fluctuations on Earth. The team monitoring the satellites smiled. It's working, said Director Miles. We hit their communications, said a technician. They won't see us for long. Miles looked at the map. Now we send a message. He pressed a button, across space. The Zalith command ship received a broadcast. Not a weapon, not a threat. A video. It showed humans in simple uniforms standing. In front of a large ancient stone, the human leader spoke calmly. We are not your enemy. But do not mistake our peace for weakness. We watch you as you watch us, and if you cross the line, you will see why Earth is not to be underestimated. The video ended. Valen stared in shock. Who sent that? Ithra answered. No known source. Probably a human broadcast. Their networks are secure, but this slipped through. Valen shook his head. We made a mistake. Behind him, a new alarm sounded. The ship shook violently. Damage to hull. Unknown attack. Balance. Eyes narrowed. The quiet planet was never quiet. The Zalith Empire had always believed in control. They watched, studied, and waited. Then, when they were certain of weakness, they struck fast and without mercy. It had worked on dozens of planets, but Earth was not like the others. Overseer Valen stood in silence, staring at the black screen. Still no signal from the scout ship? Nothing, Ithra replied. It vanished without trace. Just like the probes, Valen turned sharply. I want a full fleet prepared. We will go ourselves. This planet is hiding something, and I want it uncovered. Ithra hesitated. Sir, if this is a trap, we're walking into it. Valen looked at her coldly. That's why we bring weapons. On Earth, In the deep Arctic tunnel, something had changed. Lights blinked across the walls of the core chamber. The gates, sealed for decades, now pulsed with energy. A hum filled the air. Engineers ran across steel platforms, checking controls. Soldiers in black armor stood ready, silent. Director Miles entered with calm steps. "Is the core responding?" he asked. One scientist nodded. "Yes, sir." The presence of the Zalith ships triggered the failsafe. Another added, "It's waking up. After all these years, it remembers." Miles placed a hand on the railing, staring at the glowing ring buried in ice and metal. "It was never supposed to open," he said. "But now, we need it." Years ago, the gate had been found by deep mining teams. It was not human. It had been buried long before Earth cities even existed. Some said it was a gift from a lost civilization. Others said it was a prison. But now, the truth didn't matter. It was active, back in orbit. As the first Zalith warship approached, a sleek black vessel covered in armor and sensors. Thousands of alien soldiers waited inside, unaware of what lay beneath them. "We're in position," Ithra reported. "Planet scans are incomplete, but power surges are rising near the northern pole." Valen grinned. "That's our target. Prepare the landing crafts." Dozens of pods dropped from the warship like burning stars. They fell through the clouds, toward the Arctic. But Earth was already watching. In the underground control room, an officer shouted, "Incoming craft." 32 drop pods confirmed. Miles didn't flinch. "Activate Phase 2. Far below, the gate flared with white light. Wind blasted through the chamber. The soldiers covered their faces, and from the gate center, something stepped through. Tall, humanoid, but wrong. Its body shimmered with strange armor, part metal, part something else. It didn't speak, it just looked up, and vanished in a blur of movement. One engineer gasped. "Where did it go?" "Straight up," someone said. "It's already above the surface." On the ice, the first Zalith landing pods touched down. Troops poured out, scanning, moving fast. Their systems picked up strange readings. Magnetic storms, gravity shifts, deep tremors. "Something's coming," one soldier said. Then the ground cracked open, and the thing rose. They had no word for it, no name. One moment, it was still. The next, it moved like lightning. Zalith soldiers screamed as they were lifted off the ground, disarmed before they could fire. Explosions burst across the ice as alien weapons misfired, redirected by invisible fields. The creature's armor glowed red and blue. Its face showed nothing. It wasn't human, but it protected humans. Valen watched from orbit, horrified. "What is that thing?" Ithra's voice was barely a whisper. A guardian. It awakened something ancient, something left behind for Earth, and now was awake. Snow blew hard across the Arctic as flames lit the white sky. Alien dropships burned. Zalith soldiers ran in every direction, but it didn't matter. The thing that had risen from the Earth's core was faster than anything they had seen. It didn't walk. It moved like it folded space with every step in seconds. 4 alien squads were gone. No bodies, no screams, just silence where they had once stood. Overseer Valen watched the chaos from orbit. "What are we seeing?" he asked, voice tight. Ithra could barely speak. "It's not human. It's not robotic either. It doesn't match anything in our databases." She zoomed in on the creature. Its armor was smooth and dark, shaped like flowing stone and metal. Its chest glowed with ancient patterns, symbols no one could read. Then the creature looked up straight into their satellite feed. And for a moment, the video glitched lines broke across the screen. Energy pulsed through their systems. Then the feed shut down completely. Valen stepped back. It saw us. Through a drone. Ithra stared at her dead console. It touched our systems through. A camera. Silence filled the war room. Meanwhile, on the Arctic surface, the remaining Zalith survivors sent out an emergency signal. "This is Scout Captain Relexer. We are under attack by unknown entity. Unknown entity. We need evac now." No response came. Something was blocking there. "Comes," they tried again. Nothing. And then, the snow began to fall upward. One soldier looked around. What? What's happening? His voice shook as his boots began to lift off the ground. Gravity is breaking. The Guardian had raised its hand, and the battlefield changed. Weapons bent. In midair, fires froze. The sky split with static. Then the voice came, not from the creature's mouth, from inside the soldiers' helmets. A voice deep and clear. You watched. You planned. Now you will listen. Ralixar froze. What are you? I am not human. I am not alien. I am the memory of Earth's first fall, and its second chance. The soldiers looked at each other in confusion. You come with fire. You leave with ashes. That is your only warning. And the voice went silent, and so did everything else. The snow fell normally again. The fire died out, and the creature vanished, back in orbit. Valen gripped the edge of his command desk. This changes everything, he muttered. We need to strike now, before Earth activates more of them. Ithra shook her head. Strike, sir. What if that was only one Guardian? What if there are more? Valen narrowed his eyes. Then we kill them before they wake. But deep inside the Earth, under the deep, Arctic Ice Miles already knew what was coming. Inside Core Command, multiple gates now glowed. 3 more, still dormant, but beginning to pulse. Slowly, the scientists stared in disbelief. We didn't do this, one said. We didn't activate them. Miles turned. No, he replied. But it did. One gate lit up brighter. The power reading spiked far below the Earth's crust. Something ancient stirred. Not just a machine, not just a Guardian, but a signal too. Every species watching Earth, you made a mistake. And now, Earth was answering. Deep in space, the Zalith Warfleet waited. More than 50 ships, each armed with plasma weapons, gravity mines, and planetary. Burner's technology meant to erase cities. Overseer Valen stood at the front of the command deck. Behind him, Zalith. Soldiers stood still, silent, focused. But beneath all that discipline was fear. He stared at Earth's distant shape on the main screen. One quiet planet. But now, it had sent a warning. A single creature, a Guardian, had destroyed their scouting. Forces without lifting a weapon. No explosions. No blood. Just vanishing. Valen turned to Ithra. Prepare the strike team. No more hesitation. We hit them before they summon more monsters. Ithra nodded once. But she wasn't sure. Not anymore. She had watched the footage. Something didn't add up. This thing, she said carefully, wasn't reacting like a soldier. It didn't kill for fun. It didn't chase them down. It stopped, delivered a message. Valen's eyes narrowed, and she looked up. I don't think it was angry. I think it was ... protecting. Valen stepped back. Earth is hiding technology beyond our reach. They activate more of those things, we lose. He raised his voice. Begin planetary entry. No more observing. The fleet moved. Dozens of ships lit their engines and dropped toward Earth's orbit. Meanwhile, in Earth's core command, Director Miles stood in front of a glowing screen. It showed every Zalith ship now inside the solar system. There. Coming, one analyst said. No more scouts. This is an invasion. Miles didn't panic. He simply activated a coded key. Alert Sentinel Protocol. All Guardians go online. System deep in Earth's crust powered up and across the world. Hidden chambers began to hum. There wasn't just one. It's Guardian. There were 4, buried across the planet, each in a different biome. Each asleep until now. The Arctic Guardian had already woken. Now, it was time for the others. In the Amazon rainforest, trees trembled. From beneath moss and vines, something metal rose, green, glowing and tall. In the deserts of Mongolia, sand blew away from a massive steel plate. The earth splitted. A Guardian stepped out. Golden light blinking on its arms. In the Pacific Ocean, far below the waves, pressure sensors cracked as something ancient swam upward. Not a machine. Not a beast. something in between, in space. The Zalith fleet approached Earth's upper orbit. No resistance, one commander said. Cities still active, civilian life normal, no signs of mobilized armies. Valen squinted. They still want us to think they're weak. He raised his hand. Begin Lorbit assault. Burn their communication satellites. Disable power grids. Suddenly, every Zalith ship screen turned black. System failure, an engineer shouted. We've lost camera feeds. Scanning everything, Ithra gasped. Something's inside. Our systems. Then came a voice. Not human, not alien, but clear. Calm. You came to watch. Now you are seen. Valen looked around. Where is that coming from? The view outside the ship turned red. A figure hovered in the void. One of the Guardians, it wasn't wearing armor. Now its body was the armor. It raised its hand, and a pulse of energy ripped through the first Zalith ship. Silently, the vessel split. In half, no explosion, just severed. Then another Guardian appeared, and another. All four surrounded the Zalith fleet like ghosts. Valen screamed, Fire! Fire now! Dozens of weapons lit the sky, but every bolt of plasma twisted Madeira bent backward slammed into the firing ships. One by one, the Zalith fleet fell into chaos. Some ships tried to escape, others fired wildly. None hit, because Earth wasn't. Fighting back, Earth was answering back in core command. Miles folded his arms. The Guardians weren't just weapons. They were memories of something older than war. Something left behind to protect Earth if it was ever threatened again. Status. Miles asked. All enemy ships disabled or retreating, the technician said. 0 losses on our side. Another added. The Guardians didn't kill anyone. They just stopped everything. Miles nodded. Let the galaxy know. Earth does. Not invade. We defend. High above the clouds, the Guardians vanished, once more fading into the light. Leaving behind one message burned into every ship's remaining screen. You were warned. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. One moment, the Zalith Empire had begun an invasion of Earth. The next, their fleet was silent. No. Wreckage fell. No messages came. Just silence. And then came the signal. It was not a cry for help, not a threat. It was a recording, a message rebroadcast across alien networks. It's relayed from ship to ship, planet to planet. Anyone who listened saw the same thing. For strange beings floating in Earth's orbit surrounded by a burning Zalith fleet. They didn't speak, they didn't attack in anger. They simply moved, and nothing survived. Across the stars, governments froze. In the central star hub of the Zarthi coalition, political leaders watched the signal in silence. Is this confirmed? One asked. Yes, the science advisor replied. The footage was pulled directly from Zalith's satellite memory, seconds before their system shut down. Another leader whispered, that planet, Earth, it was supposed to be primitive. Then we were wrong. Farther away, on a pirate-controlled moon, warlords viewed the video and shook their heads. One said, we thought it was easy prey. Maybe it was bait. Back on the edge of known space, in a secret Zyrith facility, a long-retired admiral leaned forward. We always feared the ones who shot first, he said. We never feared the ones who waited. Earth had waited, and now the galaxy feared it, inside Earth's core command. Director Miles stood in front of a glowing globe, watching as the message spread. Over 400 systems have received it, a technician reported. No interference, no denials. Another added. The Guardians didn't just stop the attack. They sent a message to everyone watching. Miles nodded slowly. Good. The galaxy needed to see. A general beside him stepped forward. Should we prepare for more attacks? Miles answered calmly. They'll think twice. Maybe for the first time in centuries. But Earth wasn't done. The Guardians had returned to their chambers now, resting deep beneath Earth's crust, forests, oceans, and deserts. And with them, a new signal began. Not from humans, from something else. It pulsed softly, like a heartbeat across space. Slow, repeating encrypted. Alien translators. failed to crack it. But the pattern wasn't random. It was a countdown. On the remaining Zalith, flagship overseer Valen sat in a dark chamber. He had escaped, but he hadn't won. Ithra stood beside him. Trembling, I reviewed the battle logs, she said. None of our weapons worked. Our shields bent inward. Some crew lost memory of the fight completely. Valen didn't respond. Sir, they didn't destroy us out of hate. They could have. But they let us go. Still no answer. Then she whispered. The one thing no Zalith commander had said in generations. Maybe we should leave Earth alone. Valen finally turned. No. He looked older now, smaller but colder. If they are hiding this power, it means they fear something. No one builds guardians unless they're protecting more. He leaned closer. And I want to know what that is. Ithra stepped back. Then we'll all die chasing it. But Valen had already made his choice. He ordered a new team. Smaller, faster. Not an army, but spies. Back on Earth, Isles met with his inner circle. He tapped a screen showing a decoded piece of the alien signal. One symbol repeated again and again. A. Circle inside a triangle. No one knew what it meant. But one scientist whispered, that wasn't our tech. Another added, that came from below the Guardians. Deeper. Isles looked at them all. Then we've only seen the surface. Gus. Deep beneath the planet? Even Earth didn't fully understand what it was sitting on, and the countdown, still going. Far beneath the surface of Earth, deeper than any mine or lab had ever reached. Something ancient began to stir. The countdown signal, quiet and slow, was still pulsing. But now, it was getting faster. Inside Earth's core command, the pressure was rising. Director Miles stood in front of a large screen. The triangle and circle symbol blinked again and again, faster than before. One scientist said, we've traced the signal. It's not from the Guardians. Another added, it's coming from below them. A layer we've never mapped. A third looked pale. Sir, it's not Earth-made, not human, and not Guardian tech either. Miles stared at the data. Then he gave the order. Drill. Within hours, specialized boring machines, equipped with alien hybrid tech, began digging under the deepest Guardian chamber. The one hidden in the Arctic ice. As the drills moved down, the machines began to shake. Miles watched from a remote. Operations room. Report. Something's interfering with the signal, the engineer said. Not jamming us. It's communicating. The symbols on the screen changed. The triangle became a spiral. Then came a word. Just one. Remember. No one knew what it meant. But Miles didn't stop the drill. And then metal cracked. Not Earth's metal. Not Guardian metal. Something else. Machines broke through a hollow space, and the readings went wild energy. Levels off the scale. Radiation, unknown. Temperature perfectly. Still, a small camera drone was sent down. It entered the dark. Empty space. ... And what it saw made everyone freeze. Inside, it's a massive chamber, not natural built, and at its center stood a machine round, smooth and glowing with soft blue veins, floating in the air, still silent, older than anything known. The words returned on screen. You were not the first. Meanwhile, far away in Zalus territory, Overseer Valen received a transmission. A coded message, one of their probes near. Earth had picked up something strange. Not the Guardians, not the humans. Below both of them. A structure, an unknown core. Ithra stared at the decoded image. That's not human, she said. Valen leaned forward. It's ancient, and it's waking up. Back on Earth? Miles and his team entered the hidden chamber wearing advanced suits. The machine in the center pulsed softly. No. Buttons, no lights, just patterns. The triangle and circle symbol was etched into its sides, burned into the metal. 1. Scientists whispered, Sir, we dated the surrounding rock. How old? Miles asked. She swallowed. At least 150,000 years? Long before human civilization? Maybe before humans at all? Another scientist whispered. It wasn't built here, it was left here. As they studied it, the machine suddenly blinked. Then spoke, not in sound but in thought. Each person in the room felt the same message at once. You were not alone. You were protected, but protection has limits. The energy in the room shifted, and above them back in the Guardian chamber, the walls lit up. The 4 Guardians. It's reactivated without command. They turned not to fight but to face. Downward toward the buried machine, as if they were standing guard in orbit. Earth's defense satellites picked up incoming. Objects .fast .small .cloaked miles received the alert Zalith stealth ships. 3 of them, trying to land near the Arctic core. He didn't even blink. Don't shoot them down. Beside him looked shocked. Sir. Miles smiled grimly. Let them see what they came for. Because Earth no longer needed to prove anything. Anyone who entered that chamber would finally understand what the galaxy had forgotten. Snowstorm winds howled across the Arctic as 3 Zalith stealth craft touched down near Earth's northern pole. They were small, fast, invisible to most scanners, but Earth let them land. Inside one of the ships, Commander Luerzel stepped out cautiously. Scanning the frozen ground, there's a signal beneath us, he said. Same signature that wiped out our satellites, another soldier pointed. They're a structure hidden under the ice. They moved quietly, unaware that hidden cameras tracked their every step. Underground. In Corps Command, Director Miles stood. Watching, they took the bait, he said. A general raised an eyebrow. You're letting them enter the artifact chamber? Yes, Miles replied calmly. It's time someone else remembered the truth. The Zalith soldiers descended the tunnel without resistance. No guards, no traps, just silence. They reached the chamber where the ancient floating machine pulsed gently, untouched. Luerzel stepped forward. This isn't Earth tech. He reached out. The moment his hand got close, the air changed. The walls around them came to life. Symbols lit up. Millions of them, glowing history carved into stone and steel. And a voice entered there. Mind's clear, cold, inescapable. You watched this planet, but you never asked why it was protected. Zalith soldiers froze. This is not your discovery. This is your lesson. Suddenly, their translator devices overloaded. Visions hit them like lightning. They saw things. Cities made of light. Towers that touched space. Beings not humans walking side by side in peace. And then war. Flames, screams. Something had come long ago and ended it all. A galaxy-wide purge, and Earth had been the last seed. A planet chosen not for power, but for potential. A place to start over in Corps Command. Scientists saw the energy spike from the artifact. It's broadcasting again, one said. Not just to us, to everyone. A single word flashed across every screen. Remember, and across the galaxy, every species, empire, criminal. And soldiers saw the message. The video showed Guardians forming from ancient machines, protecting small, early humans from alien flames, not invading, not destroying, but hiding them, keeping
Earth safe for one reason.
You are the last. If you fall, so does everything. The Zalith soldiers dropped to their knees, shaking the chamber filled with light. The floating machine pulsed one final time. We warned you. Now you choose. And then the signal stopped. The artifact dimmed. Back in orbit, the remaining Zalith commanders received the broadcast across their fleets. Fear spread like fire. Some ships turned back, some disabled weapons, and some simply powered down. Ithra stood beside Overseer Vela. She whispered, "We were wrong." Valen didn't answer. For the first time in his life, he had no words. Back on Earth, Miles watched the final data stream. The countdown had ended, but no weapon had fired. No enemy had attacked. Instead, something else happened. The artifact powered down peacefully. The Guardians returned to sleep, and above Earth, a new message floated in orbit, visible to every species for light years. This world is not yours. It belongs to what comes next. Silence, Earth breathed again, but now the galaxy knew. Humans were never weak. They were chosen. The aliens had watched and finally realized they'd made a fatal mistake.